What's up everybody, Citizen Kimberly here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my new subscribers. It's always great to see people commenting and sharing and visiting. That's amazing. But now it's time for an episode of Netflix and Chop, where we slice open and dissect the featured film. Today's feature we're going to be discussing is a 2011 dark comedy titled The Beaver. So the story starts off and we have Mel Gibson, and he is utterly entrenched in the throes of depression. And he hates his life, he hates everything that he eats, he hates waking up in the morning, he is dry, his life is filled with constant thirst, and there's no way that he can quench it. So of course he's decided to give up. He is not destitute, he's actually the CEO of a toy company. And his wife in life is just completely corrupt. So we see the decline of his family. We see the decline of the relationship with his two sons. His wife is played by Jodie Foster. She doesn't like him. She's over it. His two sons are over it. Nobody really likes him. And of course we have the narrator expressing this to us. And the way that the narrator expresses Mel Gibson's distaste in colorless life is utterly amazing, and things kind of carry on as such until we find Mel Gibson leaving his home in the suburbs, and he's going and throwing away all of his things that he's put in his little Mercedes. This Mercedes is fabulous. I used to own one myself. And he's throwing away his tennis racket, and while throwing away his tennis racket in the garbage, he sees that there's a little toy beaver. But it's not really a toy. It's more or less like a puppet. And this puppet is battered. Its fur is beaten up and all beaded and things of that nature. It's like the puppet is calling to him. So he takes it back to his hotel room where he's staying since he has left his residence. While he's in the hotel room, he has done what most people who are in the claws of depression think about doing, which is taking his own life. So he commits to doing that. And that's after he visits the liquor store to get this box of alcohol. So he's drinking his alcohol, and I don't understand how people can just drink from the bottle. I don't think I've ever been around anybody who's just had alcohol straight up, and that's just how they're going to take it. But this is what he's doing. He decides that he's going to end his life, and he strings up his tie and he goes and puts it around the shower curtain, tries to end it, but of course that fails because the shower curtain just kind of drops off, and he walks with the shower curtain through his hotel room. Through his hotel room, and while he's doing that, he has several unfortunate incidents that occur. And he kind of passes out and the TV falls on his head. Now when he awakens, he has now invented this voice through this beaver. The beaver is talking to him, and you know, when I was watching this film I was thinking, well gee, I was thinking that they were going to focus mainly on the puppet talking. But what they do to make it even a little bit more psycho is that they show Mel Gibson talking and the puppet talking at the same time. So it's a little creepy, but at the same time this puppet gives him a sense of awareness. This puppet takes on the characteristic of, let's say, a Lord Henry. If you don't know who Lord Henry is, he is a character in Oscar Wilde's Dorian Gray who seems to have all of these existential thoughts about life. He's got everything figured out, and he's just going to pop it. And people find this amusing. And this, much like the way that people are receiving this beaver. Now the way that he introduces the beaver into his family is that he writes down this note, and he kind of passes it around. It's like, look, accept me. I'm the beaver. This is Mel Gibson's therapy, and this is how it's going to be for a while, and it's going to take some time. So of course he opens up to his family, and it looks like everything is going great. The young son is accepting him. The older son, well, he's just kind of a jerk. But the wife is accepting him, although she is looking at him sideways because he is talking to her through this beaver. He never puts the beaver down, never breaks character. So Mel Gibson's life completely transformed. He is a new man. His company, his employees, everybody is accepting him. His toys are becoming smash hits. He's being invited on the Today Show. He is popping this existential revelations about life and how to live. And it seems as though the puppet is really changing Mel Gibson's life and changing the way that people are receiving him. So, now I'm going to stop with the plot analysis. And I'm going to go straight into my thoughts on the film. So, this film I found to be pretty entertaining. It is one of those heartfelt stories, kind of like a dark comedy for families. There's nothing too overtly terrible that goes on, although maybe dealing with the aspects of depression could be a little off-putting to some. I did find it mildly entertaining. I did find all of the characters acted absolutely wonderfully for the roles that they had. Like I said, Jodie Foster plays the wife. Jennifer Lawrence even makes an appearance. And the two sons do an excellent job, especially the older one. They do a great job of being just the two sons with two different perspectives pertaining to their father. Mel Gibson does an excellent job. I am really impressed with the fact that he did so well with the puppet. It's impressive. I enjoyed watching the film. I'm not going to say that it is an overtly comic film. I don't even know if it was as dark as I preferred my dark comedies to be. It is one of those films that makes you feel a little bit hurt when you get towards the end of it. However, I would recommend watching it if you're up for something that will give you a couple of good laughs and make you smile a little bit and maybe make you think a little bit about how life is supposed to be and how you're supposed to live it. Because I do say that this Beaver pops a lot of existential thoughts pertaining to society and what we think life is supposed to be like. Is it really supposed to be that way, or are we just playing along to what we think life is supposed to be? And those are the things that this puppet, the Beaver, brings up. So if you're up for that kind of film, then I would suggest watching the Beaver. And down in the comments below, I have been reading them. I have been responding to them. They are awesome. Some of them are awesome. But I always appreciate the awesome ones. I always appreciate feedback. I always appreciate hearing what you guys think about the films that I have been reviewing, because it's really nice to hear other perspectives on the things that I have subjected myself to. And it's nice to hear if people agree or if they disagree. So, until the next time, everybody, watch it.